ladies and gentlemen, and other staff of the Commission. It is with profound sense of responsibility and constitutional duty that I welcome you all to this important press conference, which marks the formal unveiling of the exercise to review the current revenue allocation formula for sharing revenue amongst the 3 tiers of government in Nigeria. My chairman here has already informed you about the constitutional provision that gave the Commission the power to do so. Of course, paragraph 32B, part 1 of the 3rd schedule of 1999 Constitution as amended, which says review from time to time the revenue allocation formula and principles in operation to ensure conformity with changing realities in line with the constitutional responsibility and in response to the evolving socio-economic, political, and fiscal realities of our nation. So it's in line with this provision that at this point, the Commission is embarking on this exercise. And knowing fully well that Mr. President, who happens to be a governor from 1999 to 2007, and who had suffered under the previous administration at that time when he was governor, in terms of allocation to his state, I think there could not have been a better time to do this than now. It is worthy to note that the last review of the revenue allocation formula was carried out back in 1992 under the military administration. There were several, of course, executive orders, which one was done, I think, back in 2002 under President Olusegun Obasanjo with Professor Ngozi Iweala, or Dr. Ngozi Iweala at that time, that issued a modification act, which is what had been in existence from that time to now. So many changes have taken place. States were created under the military, demographically, economically, institutionally, and constitutionally. There had been some changes in terms of the differences between the concurrent list and the exclusive list. If you recall the last administration, there were some amendments to the Constitution that states can carry out certain things that were exclusive to the federal government, which is in the Constitution now. Like, for instance, the issue of railway, and there is also the prison system and other things. So it's more important that the subnationals, of course, my elder brother, Professor Jega, said there is nothing like subnationals. There are federating units. Professor Jibrin can maybe expatiate on that later in question and answers. There is nothing like subnationals, but there are federating units. So, distribution of electricity, now a state can embark on that. Previously, it was only exclusively for the federal government. The situation has made it essential to reevaluate the structure of fiscal federalism in order to foster economic growth in individual states, enabling them to become independent from the central government and ensuring equity, responsiveness, and sustainability. Of course, in any federation, the federating units should compete with one another in trying to provide services to their people. It's common knowledge that every administration that comes in, majority of Nigerians focus mainly on the federal government, the president, the president, the president. But the reality of the situation is that there are other components, states and local governments. The aim of the review is to produce a fair, just, and equitable revenue sharing formula that reflects the current responsibilities, needs, and capabilities of the three tiers of government, federal, states, and local governments, in line with the constitutional roles. The Commission will carefully assess the needs, service delivery obligations, fiscal performance, and development disparities. Let me state clearly that this review will be inclusive, data-driven, and transparent. It will involve broad-based consultations with critical stakeholders, including the Presidency, National Assembly, state governors, ALGON, the judiciary, MDAs, civil society organizations, traditional rulers, the organized private sector, and development partners. The Commission is also committed to integrating cutting-edge research, empirical data, and international best practices in its analysis. We invite the cooperation of the media and all Nigerians in this patriotic exercise, for which your support is critical in building public trust, ensuring accountability, and keeping the public informed. I also need to reiterate, with the new act of the Commission, which was recently signed by Mr. President in April, has granted the Commission some financial autonomy, independence, like we have never had it before. So this has made the Commission a truly Federation Commission, not a federal government agency. So I must seize this opportunity to thank Mr. President, the Senate President, the Speaker of the House, the National Assembly, my Chairman, National Planning Committee, Dr. Yahya Abdullahi, my Chairman, Honorable James Falake, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Vice President of the Federation, some governors, and the National Economic Council for really taking this bold step, because the founding fathers of this commission envisaged this commission to be a Federation Commission, not an appendage of any government in power. So for now, the commission is fully empowered constitutionally, financially, and representation from each and every state of the Federation. So Professor Walake, thank you for all your inputs along this line. So I must emphasize on this. I must also say the Commission is fully committed to discharging this sacred responsibility with utmost integrity, objectivity, and national interest. This is a historic opportunity to shape a more resilient and equitable fiscal system for Nigeria, and we shall not fail. And I will want every one of you, the press, the advocates, the various components, the stakeholders, to give your inputs on this new revenue allocation formula that we hope to conclude before the end of this year by the grace of God. It's not that the Commission had not been trying, but some of you are fully aware of what had happened under President Jonathan. This thing was not done under President Buhari. The Commission did its work and submitted, but because of one reason or another, this thing was never actualized. there is also a debate, the process, how the process should be, whether the commission should submit the process directly to the National Assembly. The constitutional provision says that when we do our work, we send it to Mr. President and then he will decide, look at it and send it to the National Assembly. What happens if Mr. President decides not to send it to the National Assembly, which is what had happened, like I think 2 or 3 times in the past. And I think the National Assembly is up to the task. They are looking at this critically. And we hope that with your advocacy and your pushing and your support, you will be able to make sure that this thing is done once and for all, and then every 5 years this thing is looked at and is reviewed. On this note, I hereby declare open the commencement of the review of the current revenue allocation formula. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, the members of the Revenue Allocation Formula Committee. Thank you for coming, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.